Hi, second grade. It's Miss Ewerth. We are going to jump back to the idea of cutting and shapes and design. And today we're going to create a different design. You'll see it's a little similar to the Notan Japanese designs that had to do with light and dark and positive shapes and negative shapes. But today we're going to see what happens when we stack some of those cutouts together. So what you're going to need is a couple pieces of paper, at least 3. I had one big piece and I cut it into smaller pieces. So this is going to be my background paper that I'm going to glue onto. And then I have 2 smaller pieces. They look huge, but they're really small. Okay. And scissors, glue if you've got it. Again, if not, you can just stack it. So I need to put some color onto my papers. If you have colored paper at home, you can do this too. If not, just need to color one side. And when you're coloring, I actually picked broken crayons because I wanted to put so much color into it that I couldn't see white spaces. And you can see I have a paper underneath so I don't color onto the table. I'm going pretty fast with my crayon, but I don't have lots of gaps in between. Okay, maybe I have some here. I can keep working on that. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is start to cut, but I wanted to show you something else first. If you have a rectangle piece of paper, let me show you a way that you can make it into a square. Okay. So what you do is you take one corner, there we go, take a corner and bring it down, and then match that up along the bottom so super duper straight. And then if I remove this part, this extra, that's going to give me a square. So I could cut along the line. Yeah. And I'm just going to show you here with a pencil where this line is in case it's hard to see. So here's where the edge matches up. So I could cut along that line. Here's another thing. You can use a ruler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that ruler so tight on the edge, grab the top corner, slide back so you can see. I'm holding the ruler really tight with my hand stretched out. I'm going to fold this over, pull it across the ruler, and now I have my square. And that's actually how I made these 2 squares. Okay, you can also see that the papers are just a little bit of a different size. Okay, I'm going to fold this into quarters. So sorry. That means I'm going to fold it in half 2 times. So like a book. And then again, so it's a square. And I'm going to start to cut shapes. For today, I'm going to cut rectangles and squares. And I want to make sure that my cutting is inside the edge. So I don't want to go off my edges. I want to keep those corners. But I can cut all different sizes. And again, I'm cutting rectangles and squares. And I don't want to go all the way across. If you have made a paper snowflake, some of these cutting ideas are similar. Pull that out. Okay. So I still have my 4 corners Yeah? Okay, and maybe I'm gonna cut a little one here. Skinny, skinny one. And if you have tons of art time today, you could certainly do this with 3 or even 4 layers. So then I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to have my design. Hello. But we're not making them into masks, although you certainly could. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to do the same thing with the gray paper. And you definitely want 2 different colors. 2 different colors so we see that contrast, so the colors stand out. Contrast is an art word that means different. Okay, here we go. Again, I'm folding it, and when I fold in real life, not in art teacher videos, I always fold against the table so that I can hold it with one hand and squish it with the other. And then I can fold it this way too. I know sometimes we fold things in the air, but I think if you hold it against the table, you'll get a better fold. Okay, so again, squares or rectangles of different sizes and different places. I don't want them to match as much as possible. So this time I'm going to cut a little bit differently, still just cutting out those squares or rectangles. Here's a skinny one that comes all the way, almost all the way across, but I don't want to go across the whole thing. Can you see how I'm cutting this? Where else do I still have room? I could cut something here. I could cut something here. I want to keep my corners. I don't want to cut those off. Let's go a little higher. And all these fun cutout shapes, you can make a different art with those, however you wanted. So you could save those, be creative, use your imaginations, make a mosaic. Okay, so this is a different shape. Open it up. And this one is a lot thicker in the middle. Okay, and then the art part comes when I stack them and when I put them together. And you can see how I've got a new design because of how those squares are stacked on top. So when I glue, and I left my glue stick in the other room, so we'll just pretend. I want to make sure I put enough glue on those wide spots on the back. So you only want to color one side because we definitely need the back and the front. Makes a cool shadow, doesn't it? Can you see that shadow down here? So I'm going to glue the bigger one first. And I can try different ways how it looks. I'm going to go this way. Line that up. I would put glue on the back of this one, press it, stick it, take a picture, click it, and then send me your artwork. I can't wait to see your designs. Next art class, we're going to do some more designs, but we'll mostly use lines. So this is our second lesson with the cutting and the gluing and the shapes. Thanks.